Have you ever questioned the importance of journaling your trades or journaling in general and just can't seem to understand the benefit it holds? This video is for you. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use a very detailed but simple journaling system to expedite my trading process and get results faster using two free softwares, TradingView and Notion. At the end of this video, I'm going to leave you with a list of benefits that journaling your trades can bring to your trading system and bring to your overall result and performance. Without further ado, let's jump in. So right now we're going to jump into my computer where I'm going to show you the template layout and descriptions. I'm going to show you my journal history, the trades that I've taken in the past and the case studies that I put in my journal. I'm also going to show you the tools within the template and how or what their functions are. And I'm also going to be performing a live journaling process. I'm going to show you how I journal my trades from the TradingView down into my Notion template and how everything is done and how I am able to structure the informations that I take from TradingView and put it into my Notion for better optimization. And like I said, towards the end of this video, I'm going to be talking about the list of benefits that I personally found from journaling my trade consistently for the past 3 years. And I know that it's going to be very, very, very beneficial to you as well. This is the first page you get when you enter my trading journal. As you can see here, it's named the SENSEI Exchange, which is the same name as my YouTube channel. This is my template right here. So right now we're going to go straight into my journal template, which is the SENSEI Trade Journal. So right now we're in my journal, the SENSEI Trade Journal. This is how to use the template, which is the guide basically for how to navigate this entire thing here. So if you click on this button right here, so here you have how to use the template and it's self-explanatory. So you read through all this, it tells you how to use it, when to use it, like for example, you will record all of your trade in the trade database, both taking trades and case studies. Now taking trades refers to trades that I take, like I execute on the live market on my account, while case studies are basically trades that I did not take, but the opportunity was there on that day. So this journal template covers both scenarios. When I take a trade and when I miss an opportunity, I also journal that missed opportunity just so I gain pattern recognition and learn from it. So this is what I just explained, and it's just that each trade will be linked to the trading day that I occurred on. Each trading day will be linked to the trading week it is part of. So this is just like the links between trades that I journal and how they all automatically arrange themselves within the template, on weekly, daily, and all that stuff. Weekly journal setup process 2 minutes, takes less than 2 minutes sometimes. Also, in my template, I have a weekly journal system, more like a reflection for the week. In that section or category, all you do is talk about your week performance within the week, the results you had, anything you could have improved, anything you want to improve, and just fill that up. It guides you for the next week, so you come prepared for the next week. I find it personally helpful though, because I always review it before I start the new week just to see mistakes or things that happened the last week that I wouldn't want to repeat coming into the new week. So, and here we have daily journal process, 30 to 60 minutes. Why is 30 to 60 minutes is because we have to go through the TradingView process, mark up those things, label them, take screenshots, move the screenshots to Notion, label the screenshots on Notion, stuff like that. So it takes 30 to 60 minutes. I journal like 3 or 4 trades within less than 15 minutes. For me, it's a breeze, but when I started using this journal, it took me like 30 to 60 minutes for real to get things done. So now we're done with the how to use the templates section of this. This is the trading dashboard. Basically, this is where the weekly and the daily section is, and here is the news dashboard. I use my FX book personally for my news updates because I find it more, I like the layout and the aesthetic to it. It usually appears like, the news. I usually mark up only high impact news, the red. I don't really pay attention to the yellow or the green, so it appears here when there's a news coming up. So now to the interesting part, which is this section here, the trading weeks and the trading days. If I open, we're currently in a new week, but because of this video, I had to postpone doing this. I wanted to do it on this video so I can show live how I prepare for the new week and all that. So here I'm going to be creating a new week. One of this stuff, this is 2 weeks ago, this is last week. For this new week, I'm going to be creating it here. At some point in the video, I'm going to create a new week and show how it's done. This is for 2 weeks ago, this is for last last week. If I open this right now, right, from 2 weeks ago, you can see it says October 7th to October 11th, 2024. Again, we have how to use section of it. You can go through this, read this, it guides you basically on how to use this section of the journal, and you can go through and read and check the boxes if you do. Say for example, here I said review your trade, your taking trades, which is the trades you took in the live market, not the case study. We read the brief for each taking trade and review the outcome and why it happened. And now when you do this, you can go ahead and check this before you start a new week, and then you go to the second bullet point. It says review your case study trades. We read the same thing as this. You check this. If you do it, you check it. Now fill out reflect section before the new week begins. Reflect section is down here. I'm going to show you in a bit. I'm going to do it, so I'm going to check it as well. Create a new week in trading weeks and five new days in trading days. I'm going to show all this process as well. This is just me making sure I have that structure or that foundation laid. So whenever if I decide to share my template, or if I forget or something like that, I have something to come back to and be like, oh, this is what I should be doing. Okay, so now this part is supposed to be filled automatically. There's that reflect section that was said here. It said fill out reflect section before the new week begins. So okay, now this is the reflect section, and this is for the week that just passed. And so the first question that comes is, how do you feel about your trading this week? And I remember on that week I said started the week in profit and ended the week on break even in account P&L, followed my trade plan, and execution was flawless, as well as risk management. I took a setup late in my session around 1 p.m. ET. I trade currencies for the currency pairs like Euro USD and the rest of them. I get into the market at 7:30 and I leave at 10:30. I don't take a trade after 10:30. Now in this case, I broke my trade plan. I take a trade at 1 p.m. ET, which is 1 p.m. on Eastern time. Down to the second bullet point in the reflection section is what one thing you did really well with your trading this week. I followed my trade plan to perfection, maintained good risk management, and all through the week, showed up consistently every day, journaled my trade as well as missed opportunities, aka case study. The third bullet point, what's one thing you aim to improve for next week? And I went ahead to say I will focus on my execution and ability to adhere to my trade rules every day. I will be securing profits quicker, especially any amount above $300. I will do my best to maintain good emotional balance / mindset when trading. The fourth is, what was the most valuable lesson that you learned this week? I had a few pairs that were ranging. I don't trade a pair that has no direction. I don't trade a consolidating pair. But once I notice on the higher time frame that the pair has no trend, I do my best to avoid getting involved in a market that has no bias or no direction. In this case, what was the most valuable lesson that you learned this week? Ranging pairs should be spotted fast and avoided. Only look for pairs with clear price action, trend, direction, and stick just those. It's either it's bullish or it's bearish. It's either buyers are in charge or sellers are in charge. You don't want to be caught in between that sideways movement. It's to get hurt basically. This is the weekly section of this journal. Now we go to the next section. So when you come into the trading days, which is the most important section for me, like when you click on it, it takes you to this section right here. I can enlarge this, but I think I'll just leave it this way. It makes it more focused. Like you see here, though, I took a loss on that day and I made a case study for Euro USD. Now, on the taking trades, I took -1%, which is a loss, and for the case study, I took 3R, which is 3%, depending on how much you're risking. For me, this is 3% on the case study, but this, like I told you, remember, this is not a trade that I took. This is a case study, which means it's an opportunity that was available on that day, but I missed it. Now, this is the one I took, and I took a loss, right? So now we go down. Before I show you the trades, I'm just going to go over the precession checklist here. So precession checklist, first checklist is create a distraction-free trading environment. Put your phone in another room, close Discord, enter do not disturb mode. Try as much as possible to create a distraction-free environment for yourself. I find this very helpful, regardless of what it is. It's very minor distraction can make you miss, especially when you're a day trader. You're waiting for a move or you're watching price action within that session time. You want to create a distraction-free zone, because even looking at your Instagram for a couple minutes can make you have this mind shape that you probably miss something. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing to do is create a distraction-free environment while trading for the day. I find this very, very helpful. Second checklist is check for high impact news during the session and mark with vertical line. I don't usually use vertical lines anymore. I just go on at my FX book, mark up the high impact news, set alerts for it, and whenever 30 minutes to the news, I get an alert on my phone and on my computer that, hey, this high impact news, FOMC is coming out, NFP is coming out, or something like that. The third is close Notion, execute your session in accordance with the POI selection and top-down flowchart. So I have a flowchart for my strategy of like top-down analysis, what I look for, what I'm waiting for, the criteria that need to be met. So that's what this whole thing is all about. I have also a POI selection criteria system. Selecting my supply or demand zones, I have specific things that I look for. Close Notion and execute your session in accordance with the POI selection and top-down flowcharts. Now for this, I have top-down flowcharts for my trading strategy, a list of things that I want to see from the higher time frame down to the lower time frame, as well as a POI selection, which is point of interest, or some people call it area of interest. This is my supply, my demand zones, those type of stuff. I have specific things that I wait for, that I look for before I even mark up that zone as my demand. I don't just mark up the demand. I have things that I look for, and I'm going to show you maybe in this video, maybe in the next video, how I mark up my POI. So this, I have a selection criteria for this, and I have a criteria for my top-down analysis. So I go ahead and mark this, and this is, by the way, this is pre-session checklist. Now post-session, which is after the session, after your trades or after the day, you come back to the Notion, and now return to Notion, log your trades taken in the trade journaling area below under the heading end of day markups. What did you take? Which is the trades that you took for the day. Second checklist for post-session checklist is perform a case study for this session and log trades that were available, which is what I said before. So it's just repeating the process or reminding you of the process you need to go through for this template and to be able to optimize this template. It's very useful to have those sessions where you journal the trades you took and the opportunities that were missed. All comes together to help you in pattern recognition and also memorizing your own strategy and mastering your own strategy just by journaling, because now it's muscle memory. It's very important. And now we can go into the trades themselves. We can see right here is the trade itself. So now this is the trade log itself. This whole entire session for this trade alone. I took Euro CAD and I took long on it. I bought the Euro card on this day, 14th October 2024, on a Monday, right? I took a loss minus 1%. My target for my profit target was the M15 week high or low. What happened on that day is you have options of what happened with TP achieved, trade stops, break even, stop loss, manual close due to news, etc. You can add more if you want, but these are the basic ones that I use. And in this case, it was stop loss was hit, right? Same thing as here. I have different targets. I usually target M15 low or H4 low or supply and demand zones. There's a bunch of stuff that I can target for my profit depending on the opportunity that was available on that day.
So here we have the flowchart model. Here we can find the trend that the market was currently at where before I took the trade. Now it could be a H4, which is 4-hour pro trend, M15 pro trend, this is the best case scenario because it's more high probability and has a higher win rate than the rest, because here the higher time frame is in sync with the M15. So this right here is the top option for me. The second option is the H4 being counter trend and the M15 being pro trend. Since I'm a day trader and I'm intraday, I don't swing trade. I can stick to the M15 being pro trend and still catch a move, even though the H4 is counter trend. So these two are the best, most fitting trends for me, whereas these other two, I can't go against the M15 because I trade intraday, right? I'm a day trader, so I don't want to go against the M15 structure because the M15 is more day to day, right? So going against it, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage automatically. This is the worst one because here the both time frames are counter trend, which means automatically that you went against the entire trend. You went against the H4, you went against the M15 for whatever trade you took. So this right here is for people who predict the market and not for people who react. This right here is for people who react because the trend is already clear, it's already telling the market is already telling you what it wants to do, and now you're just following and reacting to the opportunities that the market gives to you. Whereas this is definitely predictive because it's clearly counter trend on both time frames. None of them are in sync, and you decide to go against it. So the worst. Anyways, moving on. So right here we have this confluences section. Now for me right now, this confluences section is outdated because, like I said in my other video, that I refined my strategy over and over, and now I'm at the point where these confluences are no longer applied to my strategy, but I'm yet to update it, and it's not a big deal. I can definitely make all these updates from the template. But right here are the previous or my old entry models. I no longer use them. I use a different entry model, which I'm definitely going to be updating soon on my journal. So, but anyways, if this is still my entry criteria, what I would do is I would go through the chart and see the reasons why I took the trade. What are my entry confirmations? Was it because the M1 sorry, was it because the 1 minute time frame was at the extreme? Was it at the flip? Was it the refined POIs? You know, things like that. Inducement, was inducement swept? What was the reason why I took the trade? You know, these are entry confluences for me. And back then I entered the trade during or in the 1 minute time frame, but now I no longer use the 1 minute time frame, so this is irrelevant right now, and I'm going to update it very, very soon. But I don't use these numbers anyway, so I don't really care about it. Like this again right here, first partial, second partial, third partial, fourth partial. Now this was the time where I had partial systems where I take partials in like profits. Like I take partial profits 4 times before it hits my TP, you know, or 1 or 2 times, depending on how many. I could take 2, I could take 1, I could take 4, depending on how long the trade and how long my TP target is. But I no longer do this right now. At this stage, I'm focused on the trade either hitting my take profit or hitting my stop loss. I no longer take partials, and I have a more conservative stop loss and more realistic take profit area. So I don't really gun for the long swing moves anymore. So I'm in and out of the market, so I don't need this no more. Back in the day, I used to swing, I used to day trade everything at once. So I had this system just in case I take partials so I can have them recorded, but I no longer do it, so I no longer need it. The brief session, this session right here is where you want to talk in details about the trade and what happened during the trade. Like here I just briefly stated 2 attempts on this trade idea. First attempt to hit stop loss, second hit break even. I usually go deeper than this. In this case I wanted to make it brief, so I just had this brief statement, but usually I talk about everything that happened during the session, during my thought process, the reasons why I took the trade, and you know, more things that are not shown here. I usually go and talk about it here and make sure I have those things detailed, especially my emotions, especially, you know, my psychology at that time during the session. So I like to have those things documented so I can read back and say, okay, this is a pattern, you know, that I see in my trading during my session. I feel like this or I feel like that. Just switch things around and, you know, get that your sweet spot so you can perform your best each and every day you show up to the market. Now moving on. So here in the trade links you have, I trade three time frames. I trade the 4 hour, the M15 and the M3. So the M3 could range from the M3 to M5 depending. It doesn't really matter, M3 or M5, it's the same to me. So I trade H4, M15, M3, and over here I usually put like the last picture or the last screenshot, which in this case is a loss, so I don't have a final. Usually when I take a win, I usually have a last picture that I, you know, go over like the risk to reward and, you know, some other few details in the final. But since it's a loss, it usually stops at the M3. So this is everything about how I log in individual trade. Right now we've just looked at this trade, Euro CAD long, that I took, and I took a loss. So this is everything that I input. Just to recap though, it was on a Monday. This is everything that I had to log in. These are the screenshots, and you can go ahead and open it, and you can see if I click to the right, it takes me to the next slide and the final slide. That's about it for this. So now we're going to go back, and Tuesday, same thing. On Tuesday I took a win on Euro USD. I took a short and I bagged 2R. Now in this trade right here, it was actually 3R. It was actually 3R. I bagged 3R, but I took partials and I had to journal it as well. So as you can see here, I said 50% closed at this point. So which means my profits was cut short at this point. Now I halved my profit at this point just to make sure I secured something in case of a pullback, because it was almost the end of the day. This was around 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. and it's almost spread out, so I was trying to get out with something before the market started reversing, just like it's about to do here. I closed here 50%, and I made sure I had that stated clearly, 50% close at this point. Again, as you can see here, I said original target is 3R, but I closed at 2R. How long did this trade take? This trade took 5 hours and 0 minutes to play out, which is probably long as hell, but I usually go for the 1 hour to 2 hour time mark for my trades, but the market is being slow of recent, so 5 hours is what this trade took to play out, and that's okay. But you have to journal this stuff so you know how long your trades take to play out on an average. Now, what was I targeting? I was targeting a 30 pip target. I'm going to go back right now. I think with this we can now head over to a live journaling. I'm going to journal the trade I took on the 9th of October, which is going to fall within this last week. That's actually an interesting trade that I would want to share. I want to share right now. This database section, right? I just added this section right here. It wasn't here before, but I just added it. I think in the beginning of this year I did it, but I've never used it. So this is where I want to track my monthly report, but I've not really used it since I created it. I've just been lazy. So now trading weeks. Here you have all the weeks, all the way back to the beginning of whenever. It should be up to 2022, but I think I have to put the settings to take me back there if I want to see that. 2 years, okay, so now we have more data all the way down to 2022. I started using this journal, this template, in November 2022, so that's why you see November 2022, which is the start. That's when I started using this particular template. Before then I had 2 other templates that I was using, but this I started using in November 2022. So this is where we are right now. So as you can see, you have this view where you can see all your weeks, and just in case you want to see what the reflection for every week is, you can just click here and it's going to pop out to the side. I think 1 second, open, it's pop out to the side. Now you can see all your reflections for that week. You go to the next one, you click, you see your reflection as well for that other week. You keep going. I have data upon data all the way down to 2022. So just to show you the consistency, how long, how long I've been having this information being documented for my own benefit, right? So that's what I think everyone should do to improve their edge in the market and improve their pattern recognition in the market as well. So now, without deviating too further, I'm just going to close this right now. Back to database, we can now go check the daily, which is the trading days. Now from here, it's a calendar view. I prefer using a calendar view for my daily database. This is from 2022 all the way to 2024. Right, so you can see I took a loss on a Monday, I bagged 2R on a Tuesday, I didn't take a trade on Wednesday. I took a loss again and one break even. Obviously one loss and one break even, that's why it has -1. If I took 2 loss on this day, on these 2 trades that I took, it would have said -2. So -1 means I had one break even day and one loss for that day. Then on the Friday I took a 2.5 hour, which brings me to the total of 2.5 hour for the week. Right now, trading plan. Now this is not part of the journal. This is my trade plan. Basically, it's like everything that I do in the charts to have an edge in the market. So this is my trade plan. This is my risk management strategy. This is my flow charts, from top-down analysis to POI selection. Everything is here, so it has nothing to do with the journaling. So this is me deviating. Everything from here and above is all about the journal and imputing trades and recording and having good track record. We're done with showing the layout of this template. Now we're going to move to me actually showing you how I journal my trade from trading view down into Notion. So let's go. So now we are at trading view. I've moved the candle back to this day, the 9th of October. So now I'm just going to journal this trade and show you how I do it. So right now on the H4, we see that price has obviously shifted bearish. Right now, by breaking the structure, we are confirmed that we are bearish, right? So what I do is I go here and I make sure I have it labeled. I go H4, order flow, shifts bearish here, right? Okay, just to let me know that this is where the H4 actually shifted bearish. I'm looking for a substructural break, which means after the shift I need to see another structural break that shows the continuation of that H4 bearish move. And now I saw one here because it's as in the past I took this trade, so I know there's one there. So I'm just gonna go and make this a break of structure. Okay, so now we have something like this. All right. So it's a weak break, so it's hard to see. Well, I know it broke the structure, so I'm just gonna say this is a H4 substructural break. Okay. Another question I ask myself is, where did this reaction come from? Right now, the reaction came from a daily supply zone. And I always like to put POI meets criteria, just so I tell myself that this POI or this supply zone was not just a random supply zone, but rather it was a supply zone that actually fits my trade plan, which means it met criteria. So I always like to say POI meets criteria if it does, and if it didn't, then I'm also going to put the POI didn't meet criteria, which in other words means that I broke my trading plan because I did not trade from a valid point of interest, right? So me putting this same POI meets criteria tells me that I followed my trade plan for that day. Me waiting for the higher time frame to shift and show its hand before you start looking for an entry is very important. So this tells me again that I followed my trade plan because I waited for this. Now this is the interesting part, and this is where we find our entry right here, because now we have a H4 substructural break. Now we can begin to look for M15 pro trend move around here to give us an entry to sell. Mind you, I'm not swinging, I'm not a swing trader, so I don't really care about the H4 target. All I want is M15 on the 15-minute time frame. I just want intraday trade, which means in and out. In one session I'm in one session I'm out. I'm not holding beyond one session. All right, so now that I know that the H4 is selling, is bearish, now I can go and take a screenshot by holding Option and Command S, and boom, just like that, I just took a screenshot. right? Taking that screenshot, I'm done with the H4 right now. Now I go ahead and take out this H4 information, but I don't really need it no more. Now I go down to the 15 minutes. But this is where the magic happens. So now we have the H4 substructural break from the previous screenshots. It's still there because it's still valid for us to have this information here. Okay, so now I know the H4 is bearish and I know the intention of H4 is to sell. Now I'm going to monitor the M15. Now M15 structure, this is the M15 time frame, so we'll begin to mark M15 structure. First M15 structure is this. Second one is this right here. My target is take this low out. All I'm trying to do here is get in and get out on the M15. All we want to do right now is to sell alongside the higher time frame, looking for a POI that meets my criteria. Now this is where I pick my supply zone, right? This is my first criteria. My first criteria being that the POI must have an area where it swept liquidity. Now my second criteria for taking a trade is this tool right here. It's called a gun box. Above this line is premium, below it is discounted. Now if I'm selling, I need the price to be in premium before you sell. This is basic. You sell at premium and you buy at discount. When the price is discounted, that's when you buy. This is normal economics or normal buying and selling fundamentals. You want to buy when the price is discounted, and you want to sell your stock or your goods when the price is at premium, so you make profits. So that's the same thing that applies here right now. So right now we have M15 substructural break, and here we have another M15 substructural break. All right, this is the leg that we're working with. The most current substructure is what we're working with, and within it we have a POI that meets criteria. So now I'm going to label this POI as well. M15 pro trend, pro order flow, M15 supply zone, POI meets criteria, POI sweep, which is point of interest sweep or inducement sweep, anyone you want to call it. All you got to know is that it took liquidity before it broke the structure. This is liquidity that it took before it broke this structure here. It's a strong supply zone because this area took liquidity before it broke the structure. Now you can sell from this area. We're done with the M15 time frame. Now the screenshot is taken. Now we go 3 minutes. Right now you do the same thing. It's a fractal process. What you do on the higher time frame, you do on the mid time frame, you do on the lower time frame. Now I have the confidence to be in the lower time frames to look for confirmations to take this trade. I want to make sure that price is at premium on even this 3 minutes time frame before I can actually get in. M3 supply zone. This is our engulfing candle on the M3. Now I am ready to open my MT4 and place a trade. So now that we have this confirmation candle, I go ahead and I place my trade. So now we have pretty much everything ready on the M3 to take a screenshot and have this. One more thing to go is to input a few more data about this entry right here. 7:39 a.m. ET pre NYC, because this is pre New York session, pre NYC open. And then the next thing I'm putting in is the stop loss, 4.3 pip stop loss. The M3 engulfing candle, TP hit, which is take profit, got hit. All we gotta do is take screenshots of this, and boom, we have a screenshot of it. Like I said, I have a minimum of 1 to 3 for each trade. So this was exactly what my trade on that day was. For the final step, a few more details, which is we bagged 3R on this trade. Now I mark this out like this. You can do this by holding shift and dragging this stuff to where the trade ended. It ended in this candle, so you can see it says 1 hour 45 minutes. From my entry to when it hit my TP is 1 hour 45 minutes. 1 hour 45 minutes. This helps me to have a realistic expectation for any trade that I'm in, so I don't feel like the trade is taking too long or it happened too fast. It's a guide for me to know what my average duration for each trade is, 13.0. So this is the pip target for the day. This is the targets that I had for this whole move from here all the way down here. We're targeting 13 pips. Just like that, guys, we're done with this trade. All we got to do right now is Command Option S, and boom, voila, we're done. All right, now back to Notion. So now I'm in the 9th of October 2024. Now we scroll down. I do check these boxes to show you how I do it and how I journal my trade and this process that I follow to successfully journal my trade. So now when we come in, the first thing I want to do is I want to type in the pair that we're journaling today, which is Euro USD. And did I buy or did I sell? I think I sold, so I'm going to write short here. Click this box over here and I write 3 meaning I bagged 3R on this position. I was targeting a weak M15 low, which it did hit and gave me a 3R, and I was out of the market. The reason why I exit the trade is because the TP got hit, so TP achieved. I understood price action. I was confident. I was patient for my entry, for my confirmation, for the 3 time frames to be in sync before I took the trade. Now to the flow chart is H4 Pro Trend, M15 Pro Trend. My confluences have changed, so this whole section needs updates. So the debrief. This trade idea was available pre-New York session. The trade setup follows trade plan, its criteria. Okay, this is just a rough debrief. We have win, taking trade, loss, taking trade, break even, taking trade. Then we have win, case study trade, we have loss, case study trade, we have break even, case study trade. So basically, if the position that I took would fall into one of these 3, then any case study will fall into any of these 3. Here we say win. We click win and it automatically brings us to these 4 links where we can now put our screenshots. I will go here, and the first one is usually the H4, so I pick this. Boom. So now we have the H4 screenshot, the M15 screenshot, the 3-minute screenshot, and now the final screenshot that tells us everything. Now let's run it through like quickly. Now this is the first screenshot, the H4. So we just repeated the same thing, the same POI. It almost looks like the M15 exactly, but it's just the fact of nature of the market. So POI meets criteria again, boom, boom, boom. Just like that, we have our journal, guys. Now, this is perfect. We've journaled this trade. At the end of the week, you go to the weekly tab, and then you just do this whole reflection section and fill in these questions. How do you feel about your trading this week? What was the thing you did well this week? What was the one thing you aim to improve for next week? What was the most valuable lesson you learned this week? And you fill that up genuinely, as transparent as possible. And once you're done with that, boom, 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 you're done for the week. I've shown you how I take the trade from trading view, take the screenshots, how I annotate the trades, how I upload the trades to Notion. This week is done. Now I want to create a new week. So there you have it. We're done with this, and this is all about my journal. This is everything I do for my journal. It sounds and looks hectic, but when you actually used to it, it doesn't feel like anything at all, because every data is important, every information is important. And there you have it. I just walked you through my actual journaling process step by step, and now I'm going to be talking about the actual benefits of keeping a trade journal, which I believe will be very beneficial for you as well. The first benefit on my list is pattern recognition and easy decision making in the live market. And what I mean by this is having a consistent trade journal helps you to recognize patterns faster in the market, thereby eliminating second guessing and doubt in your mind before execution. This process of pattern recognition helps in decision making in the live market, which means execution without hesitation, which is very important and key, especially after spotting your setup and after all your criteria for to take a trade.
It's all aligned. Now for the second thing on my list of benefits is mastering your edge and also improving your edge. Now, journaling your trades consistently day by day and reviewing them weekly gives you the ability to master your edge and being able to improve it as well. So mastering your edge comes with a lot of practice, a lot of chart times, a lot of hours on the chart, but with having a proper journal kind of cuts that time in half, because now you have a track record, you have a trade history to go back to and actually check and see and review things that you have taken in the past or case studies that you have recorded in the past by yourself. So you know what they say about when you put something to pen and paper, you learn it way faster than just having it in your brain. So it's the same thing with journaling your trades. Once you have it on the system or in your paper, however you journal your trades, you kind of have this muscle memory that helps you execute better in the live market. Improving in the sense that while journaling, you tend to spot some areas where you could tweak to get better results, areas where you could tweak to maybe avoid losses, or areas where you could tweak to maybe get proper risk to reward. So with this journal, or with journaling your trade, it brings you that clarity whereby you understand how to maneuver your strategy, how to maneuver your edge to get the best returns from it. The third benefit on my list is accountability and discipline. Now, we all know that journaling your trades takes a lot of discipline, a lot of courage to actually go back, especially after taking a loss. It's hard to go back and humble yourself and be able to input that loss and say, okay, this is my fault and this is what I did wrong here and this is what I did right here. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of resilience and perseverance. It takes a lot of will to be able to go back and put those trades that you lost, those trades that was probably your fault. Doing this shows or gives you accountability for your errors in the market and helps you improve them, and also makes you disciplined because you stay true to yourself, you stay grounded, and when you can take accountability for the actions in the market, you are able to improve faster in a very short time, because you no longer put the blame off to somebody, to the market, to your mentor, to your strategy. You take the blame to yourself, and that helps you improve. That gives you the ability to improve, the platform to improve when you take accountability and stay disciplined. Discipline also comes with you journaling your trades. It's also a sign or a show of discipline. For the fourth and final benefit that I have on my list today is revision of your own historic data. And what do I mean by that? I mean having that months of track record, years of track record of your own strategy being journaled, recorded by yourself, helps you know what time of the year your strategy performs the best, what time of the year it performs the least. Helps you adapt to the changing nature of the market, the seasons within the market, right? So having that long historic data, years of data, years of journaling, months of journaling, actually review those trades or those records, help you gain clarity about the seasons in the market, the evolving nature of the market, and helps you adapt to those seasons to the best of your ability. And that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And also, if you're interested in getting my template, or you need help creating your template, also leave that in the comment below. I'm going to try my best to help and give value as much as I can. If you found any value in this video at all, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Peace and love.